Today we're going to solve equations with variables on both sides. Just a reminder, if you ever need to stop and review what I just said or did, you can always rewatch these videos. I'm only going to give 3 examples today, and then you're going to do a worksheet with 12 problems. A couple of these examples are the problems on your worksheet or very similar to the ones on your worksheet. So let's start with number 1. The first thing you're going to need to do is distribute. So this 4x just drops down, and we're going to distribute the 1/2. Well, half of 8x is 4x, and then half of 6 is 3. We're going to also distribute on the right side, so 2 times 4x is 8x, and 2 times 3 is 6. So now we have our equal sign, which I use as a fence to work across. Remember, when you're solving equations, you want to look on one side of the fence first and see if you can combine like terms. So 4x plus 4x does give me 8x, and then the plus 3 equals 8x plus 6. So now I want to start to get all of the variables on one side. So I like to leave the variables on the left side. I like to leave the numbers on the right side. So that means what I have in the cloud they're not going to move. So I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. And in this problem in particular, what that did for me is it canceled the 8x off of this side and this side. That does not usually happen, so that means this is a special case. We are left with 3 equals 6. And in our life, 3 does not equal 6. $3 does not equal $6. So if you're left with a statement that is false, then that means this problem has no solution. So that's one of our special cases. So now let's go to number 2. On number 2, we're going to do the same thing. We have to get rid of the parentheses. So if you're looking on each side individually of the equal sign, I can distribute over here. 2 times 5x is 10x, and 2 times 1 is 2, and that last plus 2 is just going to drop down. If we're looking on the left side, you guys should see that there are 2 terms that have x's. So those are like terms, and we want to combine like terms. So 3x plus 7x is 10x, plus 4 just drops down, and that equals 10x plus 2 plus 2. So now on the right side, we can add 2 plus 2. We're not going to do anything with the left side. It's going to stay 10x plus 4. And the right side turns to 10x plus 4. So again, you can only combine like terms if they have the same variables or if they're just a plain old number. So I need to undo across the fence, which means I have to undo addition and subtraction first. I want to leave the variable on the left side, and I want to leave the number on the right side. Notice I'm always putting the sign in front of the number with my little cloud. That helps you focus in on the sign before the number, and it tells you if the number is positive or negative. All right, so moving on. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides because I want to undo addition and subtraction first. I could have also subtracted 4 from both sides. It's just my preference to move that x term to the left side before I do anything else. And again, in this problem, our x terms canceled, and we're left with 4 equals 4. If all of your x terms cancel, then you have a special case. In our lifetime, 4 does equal 4. That is a true statement. And what that means is that you have infinitely many solutions. A solution is any number that you could plug into the original equation for x and it makes your statement true. So if you plugged in a 1 for all of the x's, you would get the two sides to be equal. If you plugged in a 4 for all of the x's, you would get the two sides to be equal. So no solution means no matter what number you pick to plug in for your x's, the two sides will not be equal when you work it out. Infinitely many solutions means they will be equal. Okay, last but not least, let's go on to number 3. And I cannot combine any like terms on either side of the equal sign to start, so I'm going to distribute. So 6 plus 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times -5 is -10. So again, make sure you guys are paying attention to the sign in front of the number. That equals -4x plus 44. So I'm going to see if I can combine any like terms. And it just so happens that this 10 is negative and this 6 is positive, and neither one of those have a variable. So I can do 6 minus 10, which does give me -4, and the plus 2x stays. I could have also written that side as 2x minus 4. As long as the signs in front of the number are the same, you can rearrange them. And that equals -4x plus 44. So now again, I like to keep my numbers on the left side, my variables on the left side and my numbers on the right side. So I can move anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4x to both sides. So I can undo that -4x. It cancels on the right side. And on the left side, I am left with -4 plus 6x equals 44. So now I need to move the -4 to the other side, and I have 6x equals 48. So I divide by 6 and I get x equals 8. So on your worksheet today, you're going to get some number solutions. You're going to get some where the x's or the variables cancel out totally, and those are your special cases where you get no solution or infinitely many solutions. As always, email if you have any questions, and start your facing math.